Let's say you're getting ready to walk the dog. You lace up your sneakers, get out your headphones, only to discover you finished that podcast you were really enjoying yesterday. And now the dog is already leashed up, and you've got to figure out what you're going to listen to fast. That's where our free mobile app comes in. In moments when there's too many options and not enough time to decide, just open the Boise State Public Radio app and hit play.
I'm George Prentice in Boise.
Our news and music live streams are here 24/7 to keep you informed and entertained.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. Today we've got an update on your Halloween forecast, and we have an interesting trend playing out in early in-person voting in Idaho. Plus, we'll tell you about a unique water use agreement here in the Gem State. It is Thursday, October 31st, 2024, and here are today's stories. Cool and wet will be the weather words for this Halloween. Stephen Parker is at the National Weather Service office.
We've got some showers around this morning, but we do expect them to move east of the Meridian-Boise area by around noon today, and we could have a break after that of about 6 hours or so.
But there's something behind that, if I remember, yes?
Yes, unfortunately, it looks like we'll have another area of showers moving in right around 6 p.m. And lasting into the evening.
Stephen Parker at the Weather Service, and even though cool, wet weather is in the outlook, we're reminded that wildfire season is not over. A new blaze broke out yesterday in southeast Boise, labeled the Leeds Fire. BLM crews said it came close to the Sunny Ridge subdivision in between Lucky Peak and I-84. The fire burning about 350 acres. BLM crews are expecting full control by early afternoon today. Water managers and farmers here in Idaho could sign on next month to a 4-year water use agreement, and that could help conserve water without punitive shutoffs like some Idaho farmers had faced earlier this year. Troy Oppie reports.
Some junior rights water users this year faced curtailment in eastern Idaho. State law allows this to make sure senior rights holders receive all the water they're entitled to. The restrictions were short-lived, and Governor Brad Little ordered users in the states to reach a new long-term mitigation plan.
There's an opportunity here for this plan to be successful, provide certainty for both the surface water users who have not been getting all the water that they need, and allow for the groundwater users to plan and keep their operations intact.
That's Idaho Water Resources Board Chairman Jeff Raybolt speaking this week to an interim legislative committee on natural resources. The plan, which is not finalized, would renew every 4 years if no one objects. Farmers will manage their own allotment use with carryover allowed within that 4-year period. Overuse in the period can lead to early shutoff. Lieutenant Governor Scott Bedke has been involved in water use planning for more than a decade.
This is a zero-sum game. When it's gone, it is gone. But how are we going to tell it's gone? That's because we're going to measure, and we're going to measure regularly, and it's got to be done accurately because people's water rights, their ability to make a living, is based on that allotment.
Groundwater levels will be measured monthly during the irrigation season, where it can be measured. Lawmakers pointed out there still isn't parity between measurement of surface and groundwater in every water district. Raybold said they'd continue to work on that. Farmers will have the opportunity to accept the agreement in mid-November. Troy Oppie, Boise State Public Radio News.
5 days now before Election Day, and while about 300,000 Idahoans have already cast a ballot, about 40% of that statewide number comes from one Idaho county. And it shouldn't be that much of a surprise to learn that it is Ada County, the state's largest election operation by far. Ada County Clerk Trent Triple says for those who have yet to cast a ballot, you can preview that ballot online.
There's 2 different ways to do it. If you're already registered, you can go on the Secretary of State's website. If you want to go to our website at Ada County, you can look up your address and it'll show you what your sample ballot is, meaning what's on your ballot. And it'll also show you where you can vote on Election Day, as well as early voting if you want to take advantage of that.
And early voting remains on a record-setting trend, and Triple says the big surprise is who has been casting the lion's share of those early ballots.
We are seeing record turnouts early. Now, I can't say that means there's going to be, compared to previous presidential elections, a lot more people voting, but I can say a lot more people are voting early. Predominantly, Republicans are showing up to vote early by a large margin, and that's unusual. Generally, Republicans are voting on Election Day.
And we're seeing that trend of more Republicans voting early across the Mountain West, as Hannah Merzbach reports.
Paul Gronke with the Elections and Voting Information Center says early voting is all about building a seawall.
You're banking these votes prior to election because you expect there's going to be this tidal wave of Election Day votes.
In 2020, that seawall was blue, since Republicans urged people to not vote by mail. But traditionally, Gronke says the GOP has encouraged early voting and is returning to that standpoint.
There's sort of a rebalancing. There's a return to normality in some respects.
In Mountain West states where it's an option, Republicans are still more likely to vote early in person rather than by mail. Gronke says time will tell what color the tidal wave is come Election Day. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Hannah Merzbach.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here on Friday. In the meantime, if you are enjoying The Connector, please give us a rating where you're listening right now. And if you're feeling generous, spread the word in your circle or share The Connector with a friend you might think would like it. And thanks for listening.
If you like podcasts like this, explore more from the Boise State Public Radio podcast family. There you'll find a mix of daily news, Idaho Voices, and in-depth series on a wide range of topics. I'm talking wild horses, political scandals, sustainable ranching, and militia groups in a post-January 6th world. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search Boise State Public Radio to find what Idaho's NPR station has in store for you.